and growing the economy, and NHS fits into the future, safer streets, opportunity for all, and making Britain a clean energy superpower
This
are
is
part of our decades-long national renewal built on the foundations of a stable economy, secure borders, and national security.
I don't
What do you
usually
think about
swear,
it?
but that
My
is
goodness.
bullshit.
That's just
I will say
Sounds
that
like
for once.
disgusting
Um,
shit I've ever
if you've
heard in
seen,
my life.
if you've seen how this government is destroying our economy at this present moment,
flooding with immigrants.
and if you know the history of their natures and how money is just pushed into their natures and how it's been swallowed up and on middle managers and borders.
They say the
Borders? Are
plan
you
is to
serious?
raise the living standards in every part of the UK,
Yes.
building
Bullshit. Bullshit.
homes,
Through
Bullshit.
defense.
We
hospitals,
are.
putting police back on the beat.
We will see a recession.
Okay, now
Giving
protecting.
children the best start in life with
So,
woke ideology, homegrown energy,
yes,
whatever
yeah.
that means.
Arguably, if it wasn't for the Christmas consumer price index, the consumer buying in Christmas, we would have seen a recession by January.
I better be careful because I mean, like with what we've just introduced to Marquette, where he could turn into the freaking to like the first freaking English sniper.
Yeah.
I won't go that far.
We've got like shitloads of them over here, you know, just killing everybody left and right and shit. But I haven't heard of any yet that came from
He'd
England.
be fully justified in his actions, I think.
Yeah.
Something you mentioned actually that tests for this weapon was conducted in Wales, and it reminded me that a lot of military testing has been conducted in Wales, and it reminded me of the Dam Buster bouncing bomb.
What I'm thinking is, if this thing can fry the circuitry of a drone at 1 kilometer, imagine what it could do to a person. You know what I mean? This is basically microwaves.
Here's an idea
crazy.
for you, Mr. Robot. Me and Mark was talking about this before we started, okay? Now, you remember all the shit that started over those drones that were flying over freaking Washington and all that area, New York, I believe.
Yeah, military bases as
Jersey.
well. Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they're coming out with this article. You know, well, that was only like 4 months ago.
Again, I argued. I think it was a Fixing Some Photo episode that we were talking about this, and I pointed out that Amazon has been doing a lot of testing and development in relation to their drone parcel related drone.
Well, I mean,
infrastructure.
I don't see the U.S. military allowing them to fly their drones next to military bases. I mean, they'll let them get away with some shit. Don't get me wrong, but like that's a serious offense here in the United States. Like you don't fly drones around or unidentified drones around freaking a military base. That just doesn't fly.
It might
Trump
have been
totally covered that up
as
too.
far as the. It might have been unidentified as far as the public was concerned.
Right.
No.
The DOD.
Remember the reports when it first started? They were like, these things are faster than we can track. We can't shoot them down, you know, like they were detected over military bases. And then Trump was like going, yeah, first day in office, I'm going to tell you what the drones are. And then he gets into office and he's like, oh, no, it was just nothing. It was just nothing. You know, random people flying their drones. That's all it was. That's bullshit.
Now, I've even got conflicting stories over that because, like, I've heard people say that Trump said he was going to shoot him down the moment freaking he gets into office too. So Like you hear a lot of different stories when it comes to that.
No, it was a big cover up. It was actually aliens, guys. That's what it was.
Well,
And
I think this
my
was a military project because even back whenever
nah,
Reagan,
you know why it's not? You know why
Margaret
it's not
Thatcher,
military? Because they've had UAP technology for 50 years and they've kept it under wraps. Why would they all of a sudden just fully expose themselves? That doesn't make sense. It's a top secret military black project. They wouldn't just suddenly expose themselves for no reason.
Why can't it be both? Why can't it be a commercial test and a military test?
it could be a social experiment on top of that. I mean, it could
Why
be.
wouldn't they do that out in the desert? Why would they do it over populated areas?
They
It
want to
doesn't
see.
make sense.
They want to see the human response so that they can freaking collect that data on that, see how we respond.
Notice how you said human response,
Right.
right? That's insinuating that it's a non-human element that's doing it. Busted.
No, we are doing social experiments to find
No,
out.
let me tell you the
Oh,
truth, right? So, like before that whole drone fiasco started, literally a month before that, my remote viewing group came out and they predicted it was going to happen because they were in contact with the ETs and they said, "Yep, we're going to show ourselves, but this is not the solution because it's not going to achieve the desired effect, which was disclosure." Right? Sure enough, it happened. And sure enough, the people just wrote it off as a drone, especially the media. They were so happy to say, "Oh, it's drones, straight away without even knowing. They were interviewing military people and they're going, "Oh, what is this?" And the military people would straight away go, "Oh, it's drones." They're like, "But you can't detect it. You can't find out who's launching them. So how do you know they're drones?" Yet the prevailing narrative all over the world was drones, even though they couldn't prove it.
yeah,
Now,
but
why would they do that? Why would they do that? Because in the past they always said UAP, UFO. That's what they called them. But now all of a sudden it was drones.
At the time, Amazon was given permission in the UK to prototype the logistics drone devices
Yeah.
as well.
Do you remember the Iranian mothership story?
At the same time.
Yep, I do remember that. Actually, the mothership was supposed to be off the shore, and all the smaller drones were coming out of it.
Now, don't you think that's a peculiar word to use, mothership? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was supposed to be
Kind of strange.
It was supposed to be a Chinese drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which now, the best I could find out of this is that they said about who was in charge of manufacturing them. It says the MOD is working with a range of industry partners to deliver powerful future RF DEW capabilities for UK forces.
So we're talking about people like Lockheed Martin and those other defense contractors.
Yeah, and they said Thales, which led the development of the RF DEW demonstrator, employ around 100 highly skilled engineers and manufacturing staff in Northern Ireland on the project.
Who is actually employing them?
It says Thales.
Hey, sorry?
Thales. That's all they say.
Thales.
Thales.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Need to know a bit more information about the company that's actually employing them.
I could almost bet you they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then it goes on to say Ireland manufacturing staff in Northern Ireland on the project. So, and then it
mind you, as even you do it quite often.
I'm glad they cut you off. They said okay.
Create shorthand. We'll create a shorthand for companies. You call Meta Platforms Inc. Meta. You use the term Meta all the time, rather than Meta Platforms Inc.
Yeah.
So this isn't unusual.
This drives you nuts, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
I love it. I love it. Yeah,
Love what?
I love freaking whenever I say stuff like calling it just meta, and it irritates the shit out of freaking Mark,
It's
dude.
not Meta, it's Meta Platforms Inc.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like instead of me
They
saying,
don't own the term, you know. Lots of things are
But
meta.
I know,
it,
that's
it,
what
it,
drives
if
them
you
nuts.
Conversation is meta. You know
See,
what I mean?
that's what drives them nuts is because I don't distinguish that. I just say meta, like they own all meta. You know what I mean? That's what it sounds like.
Nah, nah.
if you
I
have a look at
rebuke that. I
any of my
rebuke that.
posts online, if you have a look at any of my posts or mines, whenever I reference a company, I will use the full title, and generally, if they're a subsidiary company of, I will name also this parent company, the full title.
Okay, I found out who's doing the stuff. It's Nigel McVane, MD of Thales Integrated Airspace Protection System, said Thales continues to be at the forefront of this pioneering technology, and we are proud to continue the research and development in this sector alongside our partners in government. So it's Thales Integrated Airspace Protection Systems. It was right down at the bottom,
Okay.
too. Fucking bastards. Got to put all the important information at the bottom. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. Seriously, you couldn't have said that somewhere. You know, well, they wanted to sign their name. Like, I really don't think people should be proud of that, and then try to say freaking that they're creating jobs by creating something that's going to kill freaking people. You know?
So it's a product that is going to be of use.
Don't get me wrong. I'm okay if they're saying they're defending their borders and shit like that, or you know, but you know.
But it's funny, talking about that, it's funny you mentioned Ukraine because more than likely we will just chuck it to the Ukrainians or the next war and without expecting any sort of payment for it.
I was kind of thinking that too, actually. You actually beat me to the draw on that one because I guarantee you a big percentage of that stuff or those drones are going to go to Ukraine. I guarantee you, dude.
That
sounds like
war.
Sounds like they're planning on it.
Yeah. Even though the war is, I would say, is on its last legs anyway. Unless Ukraine, come on, the Ukraine's leader, unless he just wants to draw it out.
Well, most likely he will draw it out because it's.
I mean, yeah, Russia's already said has given them an ultimatum to given them a way out of the war.
They have to surrender that. What was it?
Well, did you see Russia just started bombing Kiev like yesterday?
Okay.
They launched some of those hypersonic missiles into Kiev.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter if they take down the drones. They can hit anywhere in the country with bloody nukes if they want.
Now, from what I've read from this, though, these are supposed to actually be just as, if not more effective than ground-to-air freaking missiles, ballistic missiles. Now, those are some serious freaking weapons, okay? Like, Israel has the best of them. Whenever the missiles were coming in at Israel, they were shooting them right out of the air, dude. Maybe one or two of them actually hit.
Used to. Now they don't. They can't anymore. Not with the hypersonics.